Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy September Weekly. It's week number 3, and we've got the second semi-final. It's going to be between MarineLord playing in the southwest corner of the map in blue as the French, and in the northeast we've got playing in red Vortix as the Mongols. We've casted the first semi-final already. It was between Wham and Muslim. I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you haven't seen it, do check it out on the YouTube channel, but we're going to be focusing on the second semi-final between Vortix and MarineLord. And of course, between these two semi-finals, we're going to be having two of these players progress to that grand final, which we'll be casting as well on the channel. So stick around if you're interested in that. But we're going to be focusing on this semi-final matchup between Vortix and MarineLord, starting off on Lipany. And the French being played by MarineLord, that is a fearsome force. We know how good MarineLord is with playing French, incredibly strong. So is Vortix for that matter, but of course Vortix at the moment playing the Mongols in this matchup. Going for a barracks, maybe looking to get an early outpost rush, which is commonly done by the Mongols. It's kind of been nerfed recently though, because of course the outposts are now having 750 HP rather than the previous 1000 HP, and also they take actually a lot longer to build. It can be very tricky to get that up and online, but we do see the gold veins here pretty exposed. An outpost here could actually be quite detrimental. Could be affecting both the gold and the wood, so it's quite nasty there for MarineLord in terms of spawning. Will Vortix take advantage of that? I suspect he will, as the villager goes forward now with the two spearmen. But you know what? Vortix, he spots it out. He's already deleted his mining camp. He's not going to be too interested in the gold for now until the feudal age. He's going to get that feudal age uptime, building with the 4 villagers, this school of cavalry. Of course, the Mongols will be delayed to that feudal age, often as expected. Does have the Gur though to be able to go up to that gold if he so wishes to do so. As another 2 spearmen do head down, it will be an outpost there, denying the 2 golds, but MarineLord not even going for the gold, and this might confuse Vortix. I think he probably would have seen that mining camp there before. He won't see that anymore. There's no other place for him to get gold, so there is the outpost looking to be put down, but it looks like it was in range slightly. He heads back a little bit there with the outpost. And MarineLord will be getting to that feudal age quickly. Means that he'll be able to focus getting villagers on wood, which he is now doing with 6 villagers. May actually have to go to this west side, this wood line here, because it's going to be in the range of the outpost. But look how long it takes for the outpost to be built. It takes forever. Khan losing valuable HP there to the town centre, less than ideal. And there's going to be plenty of wood coming in, maybe even to get a second lumber camp and a archery range as well by the time this outpost even goes up. Behind this, we do see now 2 villagers being transitioned to gold for Vortix to get to that age up, and the scout's going to be annoying. In fact, there are 3 villagers, and this is where MarineLord plays so well. He does this so often, he just harasses villagers, and now this is going to take 1 villager out of action in a short while, because the villager will have to be pulled away from the gold in order to survive, and the outpost will go up. Deny the wood, but look how much wood is in the bank there for MarineLord. 240 wood. Plenty of wood to play around with. Now starts to transition villagers back to food again. We'll get that archer range near the berries. Now it's more than enough for a second lumber camp, and the villagers might be a risk on the outpost. The outpost is actually focusing on the school of cavalry. The big difference here is I don't think that Vortix has line of sight of those villagers. It's a bit of a concern. Setting his Khan that way around now though. Once it does get line of sight, will the outpost target that? Doesn't actually have the ability to do that, I think, and the Khan's going to be just focusing on the villagers there, being a bit annoying there, harassing a little bit. As we see the scouts sending that villager packing, that villager, second villager coming out there. Maybe to build another outpost, but won't happen. Oh no, it's actually the initial villager going back home. We'll be able to make it in time. Safe and sound, heads back home. Just the 1 outpost. It's often the case now for the Mongols. They kind of get just 1 outpost and then go to the feudal age behind that, trying to delay things as much as possible. Has denied the French the access to gold for now, but not really concerned from MarineLord all that much, because he's going for stone for a second town centre here. If he gets a second town centre on this wood line, nice and protected, that'd be ideal. As the archer just pop out there from MarineLord, pushing back the Khan. Behind this, Vortix going to be looking to get the feudal age, and that is indeed the case. Going up with the deer stones, using 6 villagers to build that, has a spearman on hand to protect that gold vein. Interesting choice. I suspect it's because of the scouts. Does still have the ability to produce horsemen though, MarineLord, from the school of cavalry if he so wishes. Floating a lot of wood, but that's being saved for the second town centre. But certainly with a purpose. Will we see Vortix go for a second town center himself or fast castle? We shall see. He needs to get to the feudal age first, that's for sure. Question is whether he'll invest in a stable. Get some horsemen onto the field. We shall see, as we do see that stone income coming in very nicely there for MarineLord. As a deposit off their 30 stone in excess, but sending some more villagers to wood. He's going to want that second town centre. And there it is. It's being built there on the deer patch on the forward position. And that's a nice static defence as well. The archer's going to just send that Khan packing. The village count will be looking strong for the French. Of course, the one town centre already better than the Mongols' one town centre. 23 villages for Vortix, 26 for MarineLord, 3 villages ahead. And that villager lead is going to start to build. Will Vortix invest in a second town centre? We shall see. He's investing in a blacksmith first. There's that second town centre up and running now. Scouting Falcon being deployed there by the scout there for Vortix. I really like the use of that little bit of a boost there. Can actually give you so much information. Have a look at that. Scouting Falcon still adding information, giving that outpost the line of sight. Quite important actually in the end. Might just continue to do that. Looks like Vortix is maybe heading towards a fast castle, or maybe just some horsemen here. Horsemen into fast castle. We shall see how much he actually commits to the feudal age. Decent value from the one outpost in the end, but did take a lot of villager idle time from that one villager. Invested in spearmen that he never really needed in the end, or never really got that much more value out of. Archers being... Oh, actually, wait, hang on a minute. Archers there for Vortix. Okay, yeah, we didn't see the archery range for a while, but it is there next to the town centre. There will be a feudal age push here for Vortix. Going forward with some archers. And some spears as well. Needs to make sure he has some spears, because of course the French can be quite heavy on the cavalry. Will we see some horsemen pop out? We do indeed. They're kind of being shot at by this outpost though. Outpost getting a lot of value, as we said. A lot of value. Arden Khan just chilling out on the left side. Steel arrow coming in with the blacksmith. Siege engineering as well, so Vortix certainly going to be aggressive here in the feudal age. Looking to punish the second town centre build. Spearman archer for Vortix. Couple of villagers on that gold vein being harassed by the scouts again. Archer numbers, decent number there for MarineLord, investing in a second archery range. There's the first ram being built there by Vortix. We'll be looking to be aggressive from here on in. 9 minutes on the clock already. Scout comes back there for Vortix, gets a bit of HP damage on the scout. Villager adds into the pokey pokey. Game number 1 on Lipini. Interesting start so far. Excited to see who heads into the grand final. MarineLord, obviously kind of seasoned veteran of Age of Empires 4 for as long as it's been released. And Vortix though has had some really big performances of late. Both players already qualified for the main event, Red Bull Wololo Legacy, and now MarineLord going to be taking this outpost down. He's had enough of that position. Wants the security, doesn't actually have textiles yet. He doesn't care. He's going to send the horsemen. Couple of scouts and the archers as well. Takes it out and now transitions to gold. Both players going very heavy feudal age and the rams are added, but the thing is behind this MarineLord with more villagers, you're getting more resources. Of course, it's having to pump in some initial food investment into those villagers, but they'll pay themselves back. As we see 48 villagers versus 34. A couple of horsemen going to get some hits on the rams. Villagers will garrison inside the town centre, picking off a couple of the archers, and the ram rush aggression has been kind of nerfed in quite a big way with the auto-focus of the town centres. Villagers now garrison inside the town centre, 10 of them, not enough horsemen there you field. Only horsemen versus and archers for MarineLord. Versus horsemen, spearmen, archers though. Spearmen do dictate the fight somewhat, as the two rams will be doing a lot of damage on that town centre. The town centre likely to go down, the archers firing against each other. Spearmen taking out a lot of the horsemen there from MarineLord. MarineLord struggling on the horsemen numbers. They're getting good value though. They do head towards the spearmen. The big difference is the villagers, they're getting involved in the fight. They're not afraid to fight these villagers. Doesn't have textiles, so MarineLord will be losing that second town centre. Possibly. He's repairing, investing some wood. He wants to keep it alive. The town centre does go down. That's actually a big loss there from MarineLord. A lot of investment there. Archer's going to pick off some of the villagers on the retreat. There's certainly enough archers there for MarineLord to defend. So the push will be halted here, you feel, for Vortix. He got a lot of value for getting rid of that second town centre. Will Vortix now head for a second town centre himself? Does have 500 wood in the bank. May indeed do that. Let's take a look at the village count. 44 for MarineLord, 33 for Vortix. There's still 11 villager lead, and the archer's going to be harassed by that one horseman. One horseman getting good value, tanking a lot of the fight. Horseman does go down now, though. MarineLord is going to be catching the villagers, the spearmen on retreat. Vortix was quite a bit of an expensive loss there to take that second town centre. Bear in mind that that second town centre has been up and running for a while. 11 villagers lead. We see a blacksmith coming out from MarineLord will help with the blue Marie coming in for free. The villagers to go to gold there on the go on the west side. Interestingly, moving the gold vein girl. Maybe looking to get that static defenses there because there are more gold veins here. Medium to long term, he's thinking, I suspect. A couple of archers there going on the right side. Horseman trying to get some value. Does deny or delay things a little bit. Villager's going to be building the outpost on the deer though. Archer's just going to kill all the deer. Very awkward positions there. I'm not sure what happened there. Kind of nerfed himself a little bit. Was trying to maybe push the deer in closer. He's happy with the position. Does have wheelbarrow after all. A new Khan rises. 13 minutes on the clock. Doesn't appear that Vortix opted for that second town centre at all in the end. He's going to go for the castle edge behind this. 36 economy versus 50. That one town centre again still running faster than the Mongols one. Passive bonus for the French here, proving very, very strong. As a horseman, do try and dive in there again to get some value. You may be able to take out one villager. The outpost doesn't go up, but there are enough archers there. Not enough horsemen to really push anything majorly there. But he's just going to rush up the outpost, and the horsemen do dive in now. They're going to be picked apart by the archers. A couple of horsemen going on that stone path. 3 villagers on the stone, maybe eyeing up a keep in the castle age. We shall see. A couple of archers heading towards that northern side gold. Just to protect it. Looking to get that castle age soon though, Vortix. When he gets there, MarineLord, if he does take into some knights, may be able to hold in the feudal age somewhat. Going to go for some barracks, so certainly investing in that feudal age there, MarineLord. Especially if he starts to get spears out, that would be another food cost there. Don't really have that much food in the bank as it is. Will be the step redoubt as expected by the Mongols, boosting the gold dropped off by 50%. That'll help reduce the effective villager difference somewhat. You see some knights being made by MarineLord. Looks like MarineLord's going to commit to the feudal age somewhat for here. We shall see if he decides his plan of action. He changes it once he sees Vortix go up to the next stage. He will need the army to hold on though, MarineLord, if he wants to head into the next stage behind this. He's looking to wall up this eastern side, and that's not a bad place to wall up. Gives them a lot of resources safe here. 8,000 gold. Reduces the angle of attack for the Mongols. As we now do see that castle edge coming in for Vortix, the question is what army is he going to go for? Is it going to be man-at-arms? It looks like it's going to be knights. It's going to be stables going down. Going to fight knights with knights. Does then leave you the question of what MarineLord decides to go to the castle edge with when the time comes, if it comes. Will you go for the Guild Hall or the Royal Institute? I expect it will be the Royal Institute, but we've got plenty of time to kill before then because MarineLord is very far away from that castle age. In fact, he's going for a second town centre on the west, so he's going to be in the feudal age for a very long time. Starting to pressure the gold vein, that's quite key. Looking to get some rounds, and now it's MarineLord's turn. He's the one with the Moran Rush coming in now in the mid or late feudal age really. He's 15 minutes on the clock with Vortix in the castle age. So Vortix will be under pressure here now from the Ram Rush with knights and archers. It does feel like MarineLord will be building up a large feudal age army there behind this with the second town centre and the economy that he has, but he will be out-teched by the castle age units if they can come out onto the field. There's a spring order placement in that outpost as well. Knights and the horsemen might just dive in on that. Archers in the stealth forest though. About to pounce. I just feel like Vortix doesn't have the military numbers he needs though at this stage. Takes the engagement. The ram on the outpost, of course. The knight's going to tank a bit of damage. There is a lance there. 2 lances going to head into the fight, but there are spearmen on hand. The trouble for Vortix and his army composition he's chosen. The spears for the French will counter those knights still, despite them being feudal units. As the outpost does go down, villages will go down as well. Spearman placement is no longer going to be working out of that outpost, but there is an outpost behind it. That'll be taken down by the ram pretty quickly. Look at the archers, they're firing against each other. No veterancy upgrade for the archers for Vortix though. There is a lance there, that's a castle age unit, but there are spearmen on hand. Spearmen get good value, but there are still 2 lances there. The lances will be able to clear up the archers, but the archers are getting good value on the villagers. Holy moly, 42 villagers for Vortix, 64 there for MarineLord, of course having that second town centre. And if MarineLord can hold on and translate that economy into a greater military, he might be able to hold on. The archers actually garrison inside the ram, trying to make a run for it. Trying to hold on for as long as he can. And more expansive walls there for MarineLord, offering himself some map control. Maybe a way just to survive, trying to exit with those archers as best as he can. The archer's going to he's going to trade them off. Not going to get that much more value from them. The village count looking healthy, 43 versus 67. The question is, will MarineLord be able to afford army to survive until Castle Age? He hasn't clicked Castle Age either, so he's going to certainly need to bank up some resources to do that. We should see the Mongols being aggressive. It's kind of what they do. Fantastic game 1 so far. But the number of static defenses and walls are coming out from MarineLord. Look at the eco he's protecting. Berry patches, sacred sites, relics, gold, wood lines. As long as he can get this palisade wall up, which he should. It's offering a lot of protection, has to be said. And that's actually a good play there by MarineLord. He needs to protect himself for as long as possible. The lancers though go on the west side. They'll spot that town centre. Vortix notices that he's going to head in towards the villages. Does pick off 1 or 2. Might be the relics. We can hear the relics being picked up there. Snap. He's going to grab those. Try and reduce the villager difference there. Or at least the eco difference, the discrepancy between the 2 players, and a couple of knights there from MarineLord getting good value. He's idling so much economy because of this. And has the mobility with the knights. The 2 knights again going to get some villager kills here. That's less than ideal for Vortix. Doesn't have that many villagers. He's definitely at a deficit compared to his opponent. The archers are tickling these knights, despite being feudal age knights. And look at the value he's getting. Doesn't have any spears here, Vortix. That's really what he needed. So much idle time. So many villagers going down. 46 economy to 73. That economy lead really starting to build up here. Heading towards the pocket ecos on the west side. 2 lancers. Going to be taken down by the spears in good position. This is the issue with lancers. Whilst they have mobility, they don't really have that massive tech upgrade in the Castle Age as, like in terms of the counter units. Man-at-arms are very difficult to counter unit, to get a counter unit whilst you're stuck in the feudal age. The natural counter to the man-at-arms is the crossbowman that's only accessible in the Castle Age. And so whilst you can use archers to kind of kite those Castle Age man-at-arms, they're so tanky, those Castle Age man-at-arms, very difficult. Will Vortix pounce on that ability with the man-at-arms and start producing them? Doesn't appear so. He's going for a second town centre himself. He recognises the danger of falling in behind an economy. The trouble for Vortix is he already is behind. And even with 2 town centres, he'll be able to reduce the amount that his villager discrepancy is building by, but don't forget the French town centres work faster. The still will be behind, not unless he gets a 3rd town centre, which is a lot of wood investment. 900 wood for a 3rd town centre. Don't forget the food investment as well to keep it running. MarineLord's economy is certainly kept up nicely with the villager production. The big thing is that once MarineLord does decide to get to that Castle Age, he will have an absolutely thriving economy behind it. Does take out that ram. Spears are being picked up by the archers though. It's less than ideal for MarineLord, but the economy that he's got, he won't be worried about that too much. Getting the static defenses, as you can see, with arrow slits, that'll just slow down any sort of Castle Age push coming in for the Mongols. A nice charge in. Let's get the Wololo. Will he get the knights? Oh, just goes down in time, that shaman. Quite unlucky there for Vortix. But maybe you could make an argument that it was calculated for the French. Interestingly enough, he does have chivalry. Why are these knights not healing up? That's what I want to know. These guys are out of combat. Ah, there they are. Takes a second or 2, I guess. Outpost on the west side being pressurized there by Vortix. Does have that second town centre now up and running, and there's going to be a villager discrepancy though, quite significant. 32 villagers. 3 knights gonna make it out with their lives, running around. Again, a bigger raid. Well, 3 knights there, potential bigger raid, but villagers there already been slain. They've had to move to another woodline because of the raids. There's another Wololo being pulled up here. MarineLord trying to deny that relic again. It probably will work. Expect that shaman won't be able to bring that relic in again for a second time. A lot of resources being spent there. Shamans aren't cheap. 150 gold per pop. That's 300 gold already gone from those 2 shamans that perished. And MarineLord now is going to the next stage. 54 villagers on food. That's an absolute mammoth amount. Going for the Royal Institute is really going to pile on the pressure in the castle age, and well, you could blame him with the eco he's got set up. 54 villagers on food, 16 on gold. Might even need more villagers on gold. Pump out those units, but look at that. Already 1,300 food in the bank, and I feel like there's going to be a big push coming in for MarineLord, but Vortix is not slouching either. Let's take a look at the military count that he's got. 17. Okay, maybe he is slouching because he's going to struggle here. Going to be taking into crossbows. Look at the number of knights there for MarineLord. Taking an engagement here before the tech up. And he doesn't mind because he's still against knights and archers. If there were spears, it would be a different matter. But with the Royal Institute coming in, he's going to decide to run away with his knights, keep them alive. He's getting a charge attacks, and chivalry will heal up these knights. In fact, the knights are going to try and torch down that Aoe. They're going to keep themselves busy. Animation cancelling? Doesn't appear so. There's that castle age, and we're going to be seeing upgrades coming in. There's the veterancy for the knights. Does lose a knight though. We want to keep these knights alive until the upgrades come in. There's cantled saddles as well. Valuable upgrade. The cantled saddles will increase the bonus damage for charge from +3 to 10. That's a huge amount. Especially with the chivalry in play. You can have a charge attack and then back off, heal up, charge attack, back off, heal up, rinse and repeat. There's the veterancy for those knights now. That's 27 gold. MarineLord balancing the economy somewhat. Has a market as well if he needs to sell that food. Trouble for Vortix, he doesn't really have the military he wants. He's going to want a lot more crossbowmen. $102 villagers for MarineLord versus 67. Hopefully will be taken down. It's on fire. Archers won't do anything to these knights. The crossbows he needs. Let's take a look at the relic count though. It does have a relic in that. Prayer tent. And does he have another prayer tent? We'll have to see. It's surely more than just the one relic, right? Surely. Been in the castle age for a very long time there. It's just the one relic so far. Can't necessarily see the relics on the map too easily though. Must be hiding somewhere. Oh, it must be here. This is the monastery. It's packed up. Oh, that's a big mistake. I don't think it's getting the relic gold because it's all packed up. It's a big oversight there for Vortix. So the Lancers do head into the fight there. Won't be able to take the fight. There's cantled saddles for these knights. That's a big engagement that really MarineLord took. But hopefully crossbows there for Vortix. A nice snipe of the knights. But he's really struggling here. He doesn't have this monastery unpacked and doesn't know about it either, it seems. Might be 3 relics in there. It's a real big shame he's not noticing. That's a big ouchie. Especially in the stakes that we've got in the semi-finals, game number 1. Village count 112 versus 70. Really starting to extend there for MarineLord. Look at the resources it's got. Pretty crazy. Look at the gold that Vortix has got. Rather surprising he's got that number of villages on gold. Maybe trying to swoop up as much gold as he can. The balance of the economy not great here for Vortix. Oh, there it is. There's that monastery. Has unpacked now. There's only 2 relics in there. Still not too bad. 3 relics in total in his possession. I wonder if MarineLord has picked up some of the relics of his own. Must have done. Yeah, it is indeed the case. Has 1 relic there with the monk. Is now setting up the French economy, or the military production rather, with the keep and the stables there in a nice position. The knights head right into that eco. That's an issue there from Vortix. His food eco's been idle there for a couple of seconds. By a handful of knights. Infantry heading into the stealth forest. Took a bit of engagement there. I think there was quite a few knights that may have perished. In any case, here come the outpost span. This is the point of attack there for Vortix. Quite a few bits of cavalry going around on the north, though. MarineLord looking to get some raiding action. Trebuchets being built. Looks like Vortix is ready for an assault. Spring on placement in these outposts. He needs to keep some spearmen back at home here, Vortix. Does have a decent number. Doesn't really look like an engagement that MarineLord can take. Spring on placements do take out 2 horsemen, which is a nice play there. Static defense is certainly helping Vortix. Doesn't have the benefits of being able to build walls. They're having to rely on those outposts. As trebuchets are on the front field now, taking the outposts for MarineLord. Here comes the push. The trouble is though, 26 minutes on the clock. Look at the economy here, almost population capped in MarineLord. MarineLord, he's held on for so long now. And this is actually a big part of this matchup. The Mongols, when they're aggressive, they actually do have a window of opportunity. Even with double the villagers almost, if the military is not there, that could be a problem for MarineLord. The trouble for Vortix is the military is there for MarineLord. That is the key difference in this scenario. The timing's a little bit off on the push. Wasn't quick enough for Vortix, and you feel like with this engagement, if MarineLord takes a decent trade, he'd be able to reduce the army size for Vortix and be able to replenish his own army a lot quicker than Vortix because of the economy. Look at the resources in the bank there. Mangonel's on the field as well, constantly pushing this army back for Vortix. There are spring on emplacements in that outpost, so I might lose the Mangonel. In any case, the numbers for Vortix have dwindled somewhat. Crossbows there, looking to try and take out some of the villages that are going to torch down the Mangonel. Mangonel looks to get one more fight, one more fire, one more shot, and it does so before it perishes. A couple of horsemen and lancers cycling on the right side there for Vortix, trying to get some raiding. But look at this in the South Forest. Looks like Vortix is doubling down. He's getting siege on the field. He needs to push hard because he's very, very behind on village count. 126 for MarineLord, 70 odd, 80 odd for Vortix. As there is a trebuchet now on the field, and concern for Vortix. You get the feeling his window of opportunity, his timing has kind of elapsed because MarineLord is looking strong and the military numbers and the economy to boot. Another raiding party of horsemen on the north, and that's a concern for Vortix and the Mongols. They can't build those walls, so they have to rely on those outposts. Quite a bit of siege though coming out though for Vortix, has to be said. Quite a few Mangonels, a couple of trebuchets, a Springald or two as well added into the mix, and the spearmen looking to protect. Looks like it's a pretty heavy arbaletier air switch though for MarineLord. Such a nice approach, because the arbaletier have a high base damage, or a very good base damage at least, and they'll be able to do decently against the spears as well as any heavy armored units, and the crossbows as well, just directly countering them. But the trouble for MarineLord will be the Mangonels. Doesn't really have the Springald count. There are 2 Springalds there on the field for Vortix, so MarineLord going to be pressurized. He's going to be taking a lot of villages off of that gold vein though. There's not that much gold left on there, so probably about time that Vortix transitioned to another gold vein. Look at the number of villages though that MarineLord has, almost population capped still. But Vortix with a strong push here, has to be said, a strong army. And it's predominantly to do with the siege here. Does have a couple of trebuchets there, may need to push those forward. As the crossbows head towards that town centre, there is the keep there though that Vortix will have to push first. The Mangonel pops out, Mangonel for MarineLord will get some big damage on those units. Goes on spread formation a little bit too late there, but all in all, strong push here by Vortix. MarineLord just has to hold on for as long as he can. It's going to be a war of attrition, but Vortix is starting to build up the population though. That'll be a concern for MarineLord. Villager count starting to equalize a little bit. Good initial engagement to the fight there for Vortix. MarineLord needs to hold on, and he has held on quite a while. And the issue is that Vortix has a lot to hit. There's lots of pocket economies. The economies are nicely spread there for MarineLord. It's not as if all the economy is positioned in one position that can be pressured. In fact, MarineLord has done a good job of spreading it all out. As you can see, pockets of farming economy, wood economy, another random farm there as you do. Also, it has the presence of mind to capture that sacred site on the right side. Looks like Vortix is going to capture that one in the middle. Has the one on the left as well. Both players just taking a breather here, maybe regrouping, building up the army numbers again. Again, that suits MarineLord's scenario, having the more villagers. That's a couple of Springles on the field now. Starting to make some trebuchets. A new Khan rises. Will be adding to the fight somewhat. Get the feeling the next fight will be pretty pivotal, and we shall see maybe MarineLord even think about Imperial Age. Is kind of struggling on the gold, but could potentially balance his economy. He's got a lot of wood he could sell perhaps in the market. And looks like he's trying to neutralize that western side, sacred site. Also trying to wall up this left side. Going to funnel in the Mongols' attack into one position, and that's something that if you're the Mongols, you don't really want to happen. You want to kind of try and raid as much as you can all around the map. And the French, though, boxing things in. Quite a few Springles there for Vortix. Not really a fight that MarineLord can engage at this point, but it might be forced into it somewhat. Good thing is he will have the home advantage. Look at the food and the wood. He'll be able to spam those production as long as he has the production buildings. R3 mangonels there for Vortix that need to be taken out for MarineLord. Trouble is, there's a number of Springles there for Vortix. Going to be keeping any siege, anti-siege out of the play for MarineLord. If you're MarineLord, might need to wrap around with a couple of horsemen. Trouble is protected with those outposts. As you can see, a horseman trying to make his way there. Doesn't manage it. The siege pushing forward again. This could be a problem here for MarineLord. Retreating to the Royal Institute. So it's the College of Artillery. MarineLord actually opting to go to the Imperial Age, and that's an issue because we've talked about it before. When you age up, that's when you're most vulnerable, and this could be a scenario where MarineLord has invested a lot of resources into that age up, and the timing for the push here for Vortix is good. He's going to have the siege on the front lines, but if he can pressure now, continue the pressure, that would be key. Concern is that if MarineLord does have a window of opportunity to rebuild and recover and defend, then that Imperial Age uptime will be helpful. We'll be getting the upgrades for his units, I'm sure. That's a concern for Vortix. He needs to try and prevent that, because you can see roller shutter triggers, elite artillery. If they get put into the field, that would be a concern. A lot of the economy being idle, though. That'll certainly help things for Vortix. Trouble is MarineLord is just keeping his army safe here. He's not diving in. He's playing patiently. It's what you need at this position. But MarineLord does need something to counter those mangonels. There's quite a few of them. No veterancy coming in for the horsemen. Although they are sucking around, and this could be an issue. This is an angle of attack. The Springle numbers might dwindle here because of the horsemen. Horsemen are focusing on the Springles. There are two Springles there for MarineLord. If the Springles go down, actually they take out a Springle there for MarineLord. So nice play there by Vortix, but if those... Yeah, okay, the Springles do go down. Crossbows have a good base damage and take care of the horsemen in the end. And this monastery might be under pressure now by the three mangonels. Push continues, but Vortix biding his time. Oh, holy smokes, look at that production. This is the issue. Don't forget these stables actually benefit from 20% cheaper production. 25% rather. There's a lot of horsemen here. Will he get the elite upgrade? Yeah, he's going to look to get the elite upgrade, but he's actually going to pressure. He wants to keep the monastery alive for as long as possible. The trouble is that pure horseman actually wins this fight for MarineLord. Sure, there are a couple of spearmen, but they don't seem to be that much, and the arbaletier will take care of that. The horseman clearing everything, and these aren't even elite yet. The elite upgrade is going to be coming in. And the production capability for MarineLord incredibly strong. The amount of wood is floating though. Might need to get some more farms. MarineLord struggling. He did have a lot of raiding happening here. A lot of villagers taking off those farms. He needs to try and transition back onto that food, but Horseman going to dive on the mangonel. Once the mangonel goes down, you feel that Vortix will struggle, especially with the elite arbaletier coming in now. This will be elite horsemen as well, very soon. There's the elite upgrade coming in just now. We see the change in the skin. They look beautiful. Quite a few spearmen though for Vortix though, so that's a nice transition for Vortix. The spearmen will definitely do a work on those horsemen. Things really starting to pressure up, but let's take a look at the village count. 114 for MarineLord versus 90 for Vortix. So Vortix certainly catching up, still behind on the economy though. But it's had a strong push for a long period of time here now. Especially with the relics, 3 relics and 1 sacred site. Still continuing the push. Might get a mangonel for free here. Does pop out. Does get 1 shot off there. Nice micro there for Vortix, trying to avoid that. Looks like the relics are being saved there on the west side. Being moved to another monastery. Push continues with 3 trebuchets. The horseman going to dive that position though. There's no army there for Vortix. He's caught out of position. The crossbows looking to actually build a 3rd trebuchet, but might lose 2 in the process, and that's a bad trade there, that's for sure. Spears now do start to get in position, but only 4 or 5 of them. Good trade there by MarineLord. Oh, he loses another trebuchet there. The micro coming from MarineLord, very, very optimal. He's going to get a Royal Culver in as well from the College of Artillery. That's going to be incredibly strong. Heading towards the south though, Vortix, trying to pressurize the initial starting economy, the capital town centre there. Kind of diving in underneath the town centre. Don't know how I feel about that. We'll lose units to the arrow fire. Don't forget the town centre is now auto-focus fire on those units. And MarineLord has stabilised again. And that's a concern for Vortix. As you can see, Vortix's army has dwindled. That push came at a big price. He hasn't been able to replenish his army. He didn't have the economy behind it. We talked about this. He has got to the Imperial Age, but at what cost? Look at the economy. Doesn't have the resources. Not compared to MarineLord, at least. Does have military on the field, though. 33 for MarineLord, 47 for Vortix. There is a little bit of a window of opportunity here for MarineLord to pressure though, because MarineLord can push now before the upgrades, the elite upgrades come in for Mongols. That could be a key telling feature in this game. Do we see any trade being set up? Not just yet. Here's some farming economy on the west side though. We talked about it earlier how MarineLord lost a bit of farming economy. He's rebuilding. Slowly but surely he's getting there. So now he's heading forward with those elite artillery out. Not a lot going on here. Both players just building up an army here, you feel. The MarineLord is certainly closer to the population cap. Probably looking to push forward soon. $40 on the clock. Certainly a long one in this game, number one. That's been pretty thrilling. We shall see if the push comes in hard now for MarineLord. And the key detail is that look at the bank of resources. If Vortix loses his army, he can't replenish it very quickly. If MarineLord loses his army, he can certainly replenish. Horsemen heading on the north side, getting picked off by the spring order placement towers. Two sacred sites in play, although that one's being decapped on the west side there. So Vortix will lose a little bit of gold trickle. Trebuchets on the field, a couple of the outposts on the front line going down there for Vortix. They'll still have this group of outposts in that stealth forest building up the army. MarineLord almost population cap. That'll be a signal to go because he's got a horseman artillery and a trebuchet. Maybe a dream. Let's just see how that dream goes forward. Does it take him to a victory in game number one or not? Does decamp that sacred site on the west. Horsemen raiding very hard on that east woodline. There's no emplacements in that outpost though. It's less than ideal. A lot of idle time being caused there at the stage of the game. See the trebuchets slowly clearing up those outposts. But MarineLord has been pop capped, so the resources will start to really build up for him. Looking to get the stone pile on the right side. Does have an outpost repairing with villagers. Oh, don't forget, this has got cannon in placement. So is this, and that's not a fight that Vortix can take. He loses so many villagers there. Holy smokes, 140 villagers to 87. That was a big, big painful loss. It's because of the cannon emplacements in these outposts. Heading on the east side, the horsemen going to get some more raiding value. This could be a big push from Vortix, but again, as we said, he has one standing army. It's like one final army. If he loses that, he won't be able to replenish anytime soon. But they are elite horsemen. Just regular crossbows here at this point. Elite spearmen heading in. The elite horsemen will be looking to take down a lot of the artillery. A lot of the artillery are perishing. This is actually a very strong push here from Vortix. Will it be the final push? I'm not sure. Look at the amount of resources that MarineLord has. Don't forget there's cannon emplacements in these outposts, and there's not that much siege on the field for Vortix, has to be said. Something you might need to have. There's the army. Pushing forward for Vortix. 45 army still there on the field though for MarineLord. He's raiding heavily on the food economy, and there's nothing here for Vortix to defend. That is a concern. Might lose all his full food economy here because of the horsemen. And the push is strong here for Vortix, but you don't feel like it's enough because of these outposts. They've got cannon emplacements, and the army will be dwindling here for Vortix, not getting the value he wants. The artillery diving in, the horsemen diving in from MarineLord to getting a lot of villages there. Population is still almost population cap there for MarineLord. 150 though for Vortix. He's struggling on the villager count. And with the artillery holding on. They did die though, quite a lot of them because of the horsemen. So a revenge attack for the horsemen though for MarineLord. Going to clear up a lot of those crossbows. Head towards the safety of that outpost, which has been fortified and has a cannon emplacement. Horsemen on the west side going to be taking a lot of the food economy for the second time from that farming economy. But again, Vortix just lost so much and he's not able to replace his army. That's the big difference. That one standing army pushed, didn't have the siege behind it to make a killer blow. Because it wasn't the killer blow, the army died. Now Vortix doesn't have the resources to replenish, but guess who does? It is MarineLord, and he's going to head forward with a lot of elite horsemen. He's going to push forward, getting a lot of value here. As we said, Vortix doesn't have anything to defend. He doesn't have walls. He can't build them as the Mongols. He doesn't have army either. Doesn't have the resources. And it's going to have the sacred site decapped in the center. Still raiding here on the west side, but with 2-3 town centers, Vortix won't be able to kill villagers quicker than they're produced, you feel. Especially with the outpost going up and artillery here defending as well. Defenders advantage. And the gold villagers there being pushed off by the horsemen. That is a massive raid. 200 population capped here from MarineLord. Losing villagers just translating to more military. That's a concern. What it does keep the village count to 92, but he taps out. Game number 1 goes in the way of the French. The French triumphing over the Mongols. MarineLord getting the first game of the set and looking strong as we head into game number 2. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 going to be MarineLord in the south corner of the map in blue as the Abbasid dynasty, with Vortix in the north in red playing as the Rus. The map is going to be Dry Arabia, with the little mini game popping out, of course, with the Rus going for the bounty, as we see MarineLord having 2 scouts on the field, picking up some of the wolves and some of the deer patches. We'll be bringing some of that sheep back home as well, with the Abbasid dynasty going for that House of Wisdom as expected. Switching player positions though, and looking now at the point of view of Vortix, getting that 3rd scout out and about, picking up that deer patch on the east side, picking up the deer patch on the front, picking up 2 deer patches. The scout on the west side managing to get a wolf as well. And will we see an early wheelbarrow? Likely to be the case, because Vortix does have quite a decent amount of bounty and gold already. 260. That's the wood he needs for that wheelbarrow. Hasn't clicked it yet, so maybe he's not opting for it. We shall see. Might be waiting just to see if he feels confident getting the 200 gold that he would need for the age up. As he does pick up another wolf and a couple of sheep, so could potentially be going for that wheelbarrow, and it doesn't appear so. I think he might not be doing it then. Well, he does have another wolf coming in as well, so interesting. There it is. There's the wheelbarrow. He does decide it. He's quite comfortable now. He's confident that he'll get enough gold to get to the next stage. Making sure it doesn't run out of choices there, because of course if you do click wheelbarrow and you don't get the bounty, then you're kind of stuck a little bit. You'll then actually need to go and mine that gold, which is not really what you want to be doing as the Rus. Not with the most build orders that are out there, as we do see a lot of sheep going to the middle now. Not going to be running out of sheep underneath the town center for a while. Of course, don't forget each sheep also gives 5 bounty. With the wolves being brought back home, that tier 2 should be coming in relatively soon. Tier 2 will be 250 gold, or bounty rather, which should increase the villager gathering rate or food harvesting rate by 10%. And also the hunting cabins generating gold every 24 seconds rather than 27. Another wolf being picked up here. Plenty of wolves. Going to be enough gold, that's for sure, for the age up. Not only that, it's going to be able to do quite a bit of other things with that gold in particular. Maybe some upgrades, maybe even invest in an early night. We shall see if he decides to go for a second town centre. It's often the play with the Rus, and especially when you're going up against the Abbasid dynasty, that naturally lends itself for a second town centre when they go with the economic ring and the fresh foodstuffs technology, which reduces the cost of their villages by 50%, makes them very, very nice to boom as a civ, the Abbasid dynasty. 2 for the price of 1 on those villagers. As the wolves get taken apart. 270 bounty. There is that tier 2 now being unlocked for Vortix, as he now starts to build that golden gate with 7 villagers. There's plenty of wood in the bank as well. Might be looking to get a wooden fortress. Actually has to invest in the house just for now at least. Scout is just looking to get some value here. Just trying to harass his villagers on gold. But just trying to get us around. The gold is actually in range of the town centre, so I won't be able to get too much value of that scout. And the nice thing about the Rus is that they can conceal that second town center by virtue of the fact they can buy the stone they need. So they don't actually have to mine that stone for the second town center. But of course the Delhi Sultan, so not the Delhi, but the Abbasid dynasty rather. The Delhi Sultanate being the Berry brother, or the Abbasid dynasty. They often just go for that second town center. We shall see if MarineLord does that. We're expecting him to do so. Has 4 villages on gold because we want to have enough gold for that fresh food stuff technology. Has indeed also clicked to get that wheelbarrow. The Abbasid dynasty looking strong these days on this patch on Dry Arabia. It'd be an interesting matchup, but the Rus are no slouches, especially in the feudal age. I really like the way that a lot of the civilizations are balanced now. They often do actually have a lot of strength in the feudal age. Of course, with the 2 town center play for the Abbasid dynasty, with the villagers being half price, means they can get that kind of extra food they're saving onto military. As we see the 2 scouts just harass those villagers that are trying to gather the stone for the second town center. Will we see a second town center play here for the Rus, or will he go straight for the boar? It does look to be the case he's going for a second town center. Just look how many villages he has on wood. And also the wood count. So he's probably waiting for the 2 tickets that he'll get from the Golden Gate to place that second town center. Where will he go? Will he go for the boar? That is the question. There is a boar on the right side here. That could be a nice spot. There is a boar in the center as well near the sacred site. It's a bit exposed though. And Vortix does have a scout there just keeping an eye on things. So it is sending those villagers there though. We'll be looking to get that boar. We're not going to be aggroing that boar, I suspect, on the villagers, trying to harass a little bit. Often the scout can attack the villager that's being attacked by the boar to make them lose HP, but nice micro there by Vortix. Gonna have to keep the scout alive though. Just backs off with the scout. There is a villager that's kind of weak there, so the villagers will try and get surrounded on the scout. And MarineLord might have to back off there. Gets a lot of hits there. Scout again getting another hit for Vortix, but taking a straight up engagement won't be the plan for Vortix. He'll lose his scout if he goes. Oh, just manages to pull away in time. Really just though. Oh, 2 villagers pop out, and they do take out the scout there for MarineLord. That's actually quite key. Although I suspect that Vortix will need to find the other scout to make it a huge difference. We're losing the scout still. Early wins here. Where is MarineLord's second scout? There it is, trying to get that villager pick. I'm not sure he manages it in the end, loses that scout. Does pick up Vortix's scout though. And Horseman heads there as well, so might be able to get 1 villager pick if he focuses on the weak one. He does. I don't think... Yeah, he will get it. Just about, only just though, and the villagers garrison the town center. The Horseman takes a few hits and a little bit of HP loss, but overall worth it. As we do see the wooden fortress being placed by the Rus, an incredible bit of enhancement on the wood economy here. As you can see, 20% more wood coming into that landmark, the capital town center, or the lumber camp, and of course it will be the lumber camp in this scenario. As he builds a stable, looking to get a couple of early knights ahead, perhaps ahead of getting that second town center. Following it up with that stable, and there looks to be the second town center coming out from MarineLord, sticking with 4 villages on stone though, so maybe looking for a 3rd town center, getting 9 villages to build that on the deer patch. Might be 3rd town center. Could be a bit greedy. There's a big difference between the 3rd town center and the 2nd town center for the Abbasid dynasty. We see a lot of games go different ways based on that decision. Of course, there's lots of other decisions to be had in terms of army composition, but certainly a key standout decision here. Question is, where will that 3rd town center go? And the fact that the Rus have access to the boar, this is actually a really fast food gathering resource. It's actually the fastest on this land map rather. And so it means that the food income will be very nice for the Rus to support that 2nd town center play. Oh, it looks like he's trying to get a hunting cabin on the deer patch. Alright, we'll pop out though to defend that position. MarineLord almost poised for that 3rd town center. The villagers are pulled off that stone now. To get that 3rd town center, where will they go? It's going to be on the wood line. Protect those 2 woodlands, and a nice spot overall because both woodlands are pretty kind of roughly exposed. That 3rd town center will help secure a little bit there. As we see the forward proxy base going up for Vortix, is commonly the play. There's 2 town center into proxy buildings, production buildings, the triple archery range, looking to really pile on the pressure in the feudal age. And we love to see this kind of gameplay, and it's going to be happening here, the Rus. And this is the issue, that 3rd town center had to invest a lot of villagers getting that stone, and wood and building it. It will take time for this to pay itself back. It's quite a lot of resources there. 400 wood, 300 stone, 700 resources. Does mean that gives Vortix a window of opportunity to start building up the archer numbers. As you can see, he's going to start doing now, producing from the archer ranges. Archer range going down from MarineLord himself. Stable in an archer range, getting horseman numbers out as well. Don't forget the stable's already been built for Vortix. Getting a couple of early knights out. Horseman looking to get some value. Deer patch is pretty exposed. Let's take a look at the village count. 37 for MarineLord, 40 for Vortix, courtesy of getting that second town centre earlier. But the 3 town centres now for MarineLord. That village count will be changing. The second archer range coming out for MarineLord. Concerned with Vortix, it is kind of on a, not so much a timer, but if MarineLord can hold, he's likely to get to the castle age sooner. Especially if he has his eco balanced nicely. So horsemen do start to pump out now from MarineLord. Vortix has to be careful. He will need to get to a critical mass of archers, but once he does that, he'll be able to one-shot those horsemen. You really do need a massive horseman to take a good engagement against archers, especially with the pathing situation at the moment. There's going to be certainly a bigger commitment to archer ranges now for MarineLord. 4 archer ranges and a barracks. Rams being placed by Vortix, going for the early siege engineering. Doesn't have any other upgrades on the blacksmith just yet. Oh no, I take that back. He's got steeled arrow as well, which is quite nice for his archers, especially as they start to really climb up in number. I'm not sure if he's missing. No, he doesn't have the wood yet. He's producing from all 3. Just doesn't have the capacity just yet to produce from all 3. Lacking the wood, of course, because he's building the rams as well. They're pretty heavy wood investment. Second barracks going down for some spears. Very heavy field age coming in from both players. Will it be the roost that pressures and is able to do a lot of damage? The trouble for MarineLord, if he does lose his position, he'll lose access to wood for quite a large period of time. Next wood line is very, very far away on the west. Looking to wall up though. The 2 rams do start to pop in. This could be an issue for MarineLord. He'll struggle with the archer production if he loses access to wood, which might be the case. Villagers might be pulled though. Will he see this to pull the villagers? See the ram now. Will the villagers come out? Be careful. He just refreshed the lumber camp, so he should see this. The archer's heading behind. Yeah, the army's coming in. Knight's going to head in. They're going to charge attack some of the villagers. Not enough space in the town centre. 2 villagers already go down. Looks like it's going to be Vortix going for the production buildings. That's a smart move, actually. A couple of villagers going to try and torch down the rams, but once they get close, the archers will fire. Trouble is, he's fighting underneath the town centre, and there are 9 villagers garrisoned inside, but now the rams might focus on the town centre. In fact, they're heading backwards. Don't forget the town centre can focus fire now, so quite a few units were lost there for Vortix. Lost a couple of early knights, but did a bit of damage. Got a production building down at least. We'll need to force MarineLord into dropping down another stable if he wishes to maintain that production. I wonder if MarineLord will rush down some walls here. That's the wood to do so. Looks like another ram coming out, a 3rd ram. That will certainly take down that town centre quick time. We see a bit of raiding here. Just a couple of horsemen going in this east position, but Vortix learned his lesson from this hunting cabin in this position, getting some wooden fortresses. Make sure he's nice and safe, but look at Vortix spending all the resources he's got. Doing a great job with that. Look at the archer numbers, really kind of neck and neck there. Let's just actually compare numbers. MarineLord has 25. Vortix has 27. Vortix had a little bit, but don't forget there's town centre to contend with there. Villagers might be pulled. There are a couple of knights that are going to be tanking a lot of damage there. The knights may play the difference here, because the rams are doing good work against the town centre. The archers engage. A couple of horsemen there for MarineLord will get some good value. With the knights still tanking, that could become an issue for MarineLord. As the villagers do get pulled, they're going to be trying torching down those rams. I'm not sure they'll manage it though. The rams will do the job. The town centre goes down. The archers will fire against the horsemen. Looks like the archers will get some good damage on the retreat. And villagers will be going down as well if they commit too much. The archers pushing forward there for Vortix, but MarineLord kind of benefiting from the home advantage in terms of production on the west side. Knight chasing down the archers. Well, actually, Knight chasing down the scouts on the south. Bit of a raid there. Scout will be going down to the villagers. The push is now halted here on the front lines. Vortix going to just invest in some more rams. Has the wood to do so. Another 2 rams could be built. Double down, produce more archers, of course. 2 rams popping out here could be a problem for MarineLord, especially if those rams start to focus fire on the production buildings. And the wood line is kind of at risk here. MarineLord is struggling on wood. He's predominantly got 4 archery ranges, so he needs that wood desperately for the archers. Trouble is that wood line is being taken apart now. Villagers will be dying on this position. Rams heading forward. Oh, Rams heading towards the villagers though. Need to backtrack a little bit. Won't want to lose those too easily. The villagers might get the kills. The thing is, for the archers for Vortix, they can't really focus on the villagers because he's got a lot of archers to deal with. 22 for Vortix, 18 for MarineLord. But the trouble is, MarineLord doesn't have Steeled Arrow. That is the big difference in this fight. That is a huge difference in this fight. Not having Steeled Arrow was huge. Both players do have Iron Undermesh. That woodline has been denied, and now the villagers have to mass migrate on the west. He's struggling. He only just has just enough wood for a lumber camp even. Vortix might be able to afford a second ram coming in. Let's take a look at the village counts. 61 from MarineLord, 67 for Vortix, so Vortix head on that department. Yeah, he's looking to invest in a second ram. And if he takes out some of the housing, that will slowly actually force MarineLord to invest more wood into housing. Wood that he just doesn't have at this point. Yeah, and Vortix is just quite happy to macro behind this and look to take down the houses there. Look at MarineLord's food income though. That's the benefit of playing as the Abbasid dynasty. Trouble is, he's struggling to convert that into military at this point because of the lack of wood primarily. Now he's going to be losing production buildings as well. Cutting off the wood is really the name of the game here in this situation for Vortix. Taking more housing, and he is housed now, Vortix, so... Sorry, MarineLord rather. So the wood that he does have, look at this, he's going to have to produce more production buildings, but also place houses. And he's going to lack the wood here. Because the production buildings on the front will be taken down. These are expensive. Especially with 3 rams, those will go down quick time. Villagers trying to rush those houses. Another barracks does go down. Another ram will be popping out for Vortix. Great value. And I think MarineLord is just trying to stall this situation out. Trying to build up as much army as he can to take one decisive fight. That's so much food. Needs to convert these into horsemen. Might be able to do some damage though if he can build up an army. Vortix though continuing to add in reinforcements in the form of early knights. That's the concern. There's no spearmen on here. A couple of spearmen from before, but there's no barracks. That's a concern for MarineLord. He has an answer potentially against the archers with a horseman. But what does he do about against the knights that are continuing to join the fight as well? As now Vortix now starting to pressure on the capital town centre, takes out the other archery range. There's 4 rams there, and MarineLord doesn't have much time left because once that town centre goes down, it will then be the House of Wisdom. 6 stables, 5 of them already built. Might be go time. It's a bit too early though. Another ram does start to come out. That's going to be a lot of rams going for that House of Wisdom. The trouble for MarineLord, he has to deal with the rams. If he deals with the rams, then the army for Vortix will slowly snipe MarineLords. And this feels like that Vortix will be evening up the set from this push. Really strong push with the Rus and the Feudalage. Not sure the Abbasid dynasty will be able to hold on. Looks like their town centre was a bit too greedy in the end. We kind of thought that might be the case. There's fitted leatherwork coming in as well, just to protect against the horsemen. As the archers do fire off, get good damage per second. Now the problem for MarineLord is kind of dilly-dallying. Has to engage, but the knights on the front line, and he calls it, he taps out. He knows he's not going to win that fight, and Vortix evens out the set with the Rus triumphing over the Abbasid dynasty on Dry Arabia. As we head into the decider, game number 3 could go either way, and either player could progress into the finals, the grand finals, and let's find out who that will be by heading into game number 3. Here we are, ladies and gents. We are on game number 3. This is the decider for who will progress to the grand finals in the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy September weeklies, week number 3, and we're heading into game number 3 on Holy Island with MarineLord playing as the Holy Roman Empire in blue on the east side of the map, and in the southwest in red, his opponent Vortix playing in red as the English. English versus Holy Roman Empire, a bit of a rough matchup has to be said for the English. In many ways, the Holy Roman Empire seemed to do incredibly well against the English, and I don't know, this is going to be tough for Vortix because of the fast castle capabilities of the Holy Roman Empire, especially with the buffing on the prelate here. As you can see, going straight to wood, we'll be able to get that dock nice and early. It's already being built here, and it's going to be able to wall this up very nicely with the villager too. That dock position will be nice and safe. The scout is heading that way. Maybe looking to do some damage. Looks like the palisade walls are going to try to go up, but the scout going to be annoying there. In any case, the dock will go up, and the prelate will be boosting these villages by 40%. Now, the English don't have such a fantastic eco bonus. He's actually sending an early man-at-arms, or vanguard man-at-arms rather, or to try and deny that dock position. Might actually work. Something that Vortix will have to do as the English, you really have to pile on the pressure, try and mess things up for the Holy Roman Empire and their eco. Now, both players do actually get galleys in the fuselage from the dock, and that could be quite strong. It actually looks like MarineLord has had that dock denied. It doesn't go up in the end because of the vanguard man-at-arms that's there and the two scouts, so MarineLord having to head back home. That's actually quite a nice denial there by Vortix, has to be said. Now, speaking on the water, both players do get galleys, both civilizations do get galleys, but the one difference is that the English get them cheaper, and so technically should be able to produce them quicker, but I feel like that's more than compensated by the 40% buff by the prelate. As the prelate now heads off of wood, heads out of there, going towards committing to the land, getting an outpost on the gold. And that's going to be key to get that up. The prelate coming out to help heal up those units if they need to. Because the vanguard man-at-arms is looking to do some damage, but isn't going to be able to get too much more value. With the outpost going up and all, and then will be the mining camp for 5 villages on the gold. Might just be a standard land fast castle at this point, because MarineLord are going to struggle to get that dock up unless he sends a sneaky villager. No villagers going onto the wood there just yet. Sorry, onto the dock position. Having to chop down the straggler tree. He's now getting a lumber camp of his own. Needs to drop off some wood. Needs to get a house really here. Quite desperate for wood. We'll be able to build that house now. As we see the vanguard man-at-arms head forward. There's a scout inside. Oh, there's one villager inside the outpost. Vanguard man-at-arms will tank a bit of damage. They back off. They're creating a bit of idle time, which is not too bad. Vanguard man-at-arms heads towards the wood line. There are no villagers on wood to be had today from the Holy Roman Empire. As a scout heads towards the west just to look to see if there is a dock there for the English. There indeed isn't. Well, there will be now though. The villager heading that way. Vortix knows that the scout for MarineLord has been pulled, so he's taking the opportunity now to send a villager to build that dock. Look at that. Vortix keeping an eye on that shoreline just to see if a dock is being put by MarineLord, but doesn't appear to be the case. It might just be the case that MarineLord goes for a fast castle here. Obviously still in the Dark Age, but sending a lot of villagers on gold. 6 of them, holy smokes. Wanting to get that gold as much as you can quickly as possible. The dock is going to be going up on the west side. It means that Vortix will be delayed to the feudal age. Investing in that dock, but look at the food and gold. He's going to be going to the next stage with the Ark and Chapel. In a fantastic position, holy smokes. Going to be able to get the berries. That'll help with the fast castle, that's for sure. And also help boost up the wood income. With 6 villagers already in gold. Yeah, I mean, certainly looks like a fast castle play. All these villagers will go on food, and this is the issue. It doesn't even need to commit to water, just focus on land and push from there. And you feel like the timing for the English won't be quick enough. It is a heavy investment to commit to water like that. It does have a payback though, eventually in the game. But it does give the Holy Roman Empire a window of opportunity, maybe the next 15 minutes or so to be able to win the game. Maybe a bit more than that, 20 minutes before really the food eco really starts to kick in. Because of course, don't forget, wood is being pumped into these fishing ships and it takes a while for the food to come back to pay for itself. But it is a very fast way of gathering food. The fastest way to gather the food really, arguably, in Age of Empires 4. Look at the number of sheep as well he has there, 11 of them. Holy moly, won't be really too reliant on that as he heads with 5 villagers to gold. Doesn't even need to commit to getting galleys here. Which is quite a nice play there by Vortix. Often you have to kind of commit to, if you want to commit to water, you often have to produce military on water, but it doesn't appear to be the case for Vortix. Doesn't really need to at this point. Villager being pulled here, the shore fish picker. The shore fisherman. As we see the age up going up with the council hall, no real surprises there. With 6 villagers, but the age up coming in nicely for MarineLord is getting into the next stage already. Already has 500 gold in the bank. The prelate there boosting those villagers, and the prelate will probably be pulled there towards the Ark and Chapel. Getting stable, so it's not going to be a fast castle necessarily. He's going to get some horsemen. He sees the council horses preemptive, maybe a bit of aggression on the land there. We'll be investing in a couple of horsemen, I suspect. There's the prelate. Now, the actual Ark and Chapel doesn't actually influence these villagers on the sheep that have already been taken. So it's going to keep the sheep closer to the drop-off point there on the Ark and Chapel. And these villagers will make their way there soon, I suspect. Let's take a look. Council Hall almost being built. It's got a decent number of fishing ships going for a double dock there. Heavy water investment. A bit concerned about that scenario because look at this. Look at the economy here. Absolutely buzzing away. Can rely on the berries as well, the Holy Roman Empire. Should he need to. Vortix just transitioning some villages off of gold now. But certainly MarineLord just committing fully on land here and is going to be clicking up to the next stage very soon, and that's a big problem for Vortix. MarineLord already has a stable, so could go for knights, but really man-at-arms is the danger for Vortix, because the man-at-arms are very hard to counter, Castle Age man-at-arms in particular. Because you really need those crossbows, but you can't get the crossbows until you're in Castle Age yourself, and, well, Vortix is a million miles away from that. So we talked about the fishing ships, a big investment, does take some time to pay itself back, and gives the window of opportunity for the Holy Roman Empire now. Building the Regnus Cathedral with 10 villagers means a lot of those relics will be heading in the way of the Holy Roman Empire. Not that much in the way of military coming out for Vortix. Go for... I mean, this is the issue. Vortix is kind of committing pretty much to economy, and it's just so far behind in terms of the uptime. If he can survive though, and that is a big if, then he will be able to fight back with a superior economy in terms of on water. But don't forget, these villages are buffed up by 40%, so it was a little bit broken in this situation, because really for Vortix, committing to water here is a bit of a problem. They're already at a disadvantage playing against the Holy Roman Empire with their eco, the prelate. There's that Castle Age uptime. 8 minutes 40 seconds. A little bit disgusting. Going for a market as well. Maybe to balance the economy a little bit, perhaps. As we see a prelate picking up the first relic. A couple of man-at-arms there on the field. And a longbowman as well. The Wololo going off. I don't think the man-at-arms is going to be able to deal enough damage to take out the monk, or the prelate rather. So the prelate will be okay. Man-at-arms going around the other side to try and pick off the retreat. Prelate probably won't make it, but we'll be bringing the relic very close to home as we hear other relics being picked up on the map as well. On the west side, and with the relics coming closer to the Holy Roman Empire and the Regnus Cathedral, it's going to be bad news for Vortix, as he does have quite a decent number of gold in the bank, but the trouble is for him is food. We hear prelates coming out of the Regnus Cathedral. We'll be able to deposit at least one relic now, so that gold income will be coming in nice and fast. And the prelate could deposit the relic inside the outpost, which will certainly help things for MarineLord and the Holy Roman Empire. They're actually heading towards that Regnus Cathedral though, heading towards the town centre. Look at that, 3 relics going to be coming in now. That's huge. Knights are being healed up with the prelate as well. And the scout. God, if you're Vortix, you're kind of wondering what do we do at this point. We will be going up to the Castle Age soon. It feels like the damage is done. 3 relics already in play, and the farming transition coming out. MarineLord looking comfortable here. Still 2 relics on the field. One very close to Vortix. Unlikely that the Holy Roman Empire will have access to that. This one's possibly grabbable. There's quite a lot of army there. Looks like MarineLord trying to get a dock up. The dock probably should go up there with 3 villagers. The issue is for Vortix now, he's going to have to commit to water. He needs some galleys here to fight this off, because 1 galley or 2 will fight this And the fishing ships, the food economy for Vortix will be a complete risk there. Going up with the King's Palace there on the wood line at the back. Village count will start to rise there for Vortix. As we see a galley being built immediately for MarineLord, and is Vortix reacting? He's not. He doesn't. Oh, this is a problem. Vortix doesn't have the wood. He needs wood. Otherwise he's going to lose his food economy. Food economy that he's invested a lot of wood into. Definitely would not want that. MarineLord, plenty of food in the bank, despite not even heading for the waters in terms of fishing ships. Looks like Vortix is trying to torch down this dock though. The galley does pop out though. And actually it's not even a galley, it's a hulk. Holy smokes. Okay, I take it back. It's of course is in Castle Age, so I'm gonna go for the Hulk, and the Hulk's gonna make his way now. What do you do if you're Vortix? You need a Hulk yourself. Don't come too cheaply, or they are cheaper for the English. He's starting to produce one now, but he needs another one really. Does have additional sails, so we'll have a bit of movement speed edge over his opponent. Let's take a look at what the Holy Roman Emperor up to now. Empire has 3 relics. Our longbows heading towards that wood line, but there are 3 knights. They're going to be easily taking that fight. Charge tech goes off. Picks off a couple of longbows as the prelate does look to try and get that relic being brought home a bit closer inch by inch, but of course there's a knight there for the English who will take care of that, and the longbows now are taken care of. Well, actually no, oh, he's pulled the knight prematurely. That's a bit of an issue. The knight's heading towards that dock instead, or that batch of army, but the little longbowman there, the scout will take care of that. Will we spin to win for now? The Vortix has the home advantage, defender's advantage, being healed up by the dock. And it has additional cells as well. Let's take a look at the movement speed. 1.12 versus 1.29. So, yeah, Vortix will win that. And he will keep the waters for now. So MarineLord tried to hold and do some damage on water, but didn't manage to, as we see a farming transition coming out for Vortix now. So but look at the gold income from those 3 relics, and that's going to be translated into military. And look at the food he has as well. MarineLord producing just from 1 stable at the moment. We'll do a bit more. Should I take that back? No, it is just 1 stable. Yep, it is indeed. Has a blacksmith, but not going for the upgrades just yet. Vortix, on the other hand, go for triple stable knights. We'll have good mobility. He will take a decent engagement, but he needs those knights now. Doesn't have the numbers out. He's producing, but doesn't have the numbers he needs. And MarineLord, if he takes an engagement now, will do pretty decent to do so. The knights charge in, takes out the scout pretty cheaply. Yeah, takes a lot of damage. Longbow goes down as well, and the spearman. Great engagement from MarineLord so far. Prelate's coming out to heal, and this is looking a bit dicey for Vortix, because now there are triple stables for MarineLord, and the economy looking strong here for MarineLord. Of course, the fishing is there for Vortix, but the 40% buffer of the prelates for the holy inspiration for the Holy Roman Empire. It's really what seems to be paying the difference, but it has to be said, the economy numbers should be higher, a lot higher for Vortix, being on 2 town centers effectively. 62 economy versus 41, coming courtesy of the King's Palace. It does mean he needs to commit more food into those villages, which again has a payback time. Doesn't have the knight numbers he wants. 3 hulks denying the docks. Oh, but the knights are there. Poor MarineLord going to look to torch down those docks, and Vortix doesn't really have the numbers there. He's starting to build up though, nicely. As I say that though, the knights are pumping out for MarineLord as well. Definitely has a knight number advantage. But Vortix might be able to take a decent fight here if he engages soon before the numbers start to overwhelm for MarineLord. So Vortix is getting some spears, some veterancy for the spears as well. As the knights head towards the south, looking to get some value where they can, to find some villagers offhand if they can, unguarded, unprotected, as the knights head towards the west side. That dock is on flames, does get taken down, so Vortix reduced to 1 dock, takes an engagement, doesn't have the numbers here. Look at this micro by MarineLord, taking a knight back at home with 10 HP, he'll be healing that up with the prelate. Does lose 1 of the knights though, loses 2 knights. So overall, great engagement there for Vortix, might be able to snipe another. But the prelates get involved, they're healing up. That'll be an issue. Does he have herbal medicine? Look at the charge coming in from the knights. Does indeed have herbal medicine. On the Regulus Cathedral, which is effectively a monastery. You see a couple of knights there on the wood line. There are spears to defend, though, quite nicely for Vortix. Idle time certainly being caused. There is a relic inside that outpost as well. So there is 4 relics in there for MarineLord. That gold income going to be looking pretty strong. And a prelate helping there, certainly on the gold vein. So a lot of these villages are being bolstered and inspired by increasing the rate by 40%. So despite the villager lead from Vortix, it's not as bad as you think. Especially with the Palace of Swabia now being built, that will give Imperial Age for the Holy Roman Empire. Not only does it give the tech up in terms of power and units that are now able to be produced, but it's also a printer villager. Actually the other way around, villager printer. And the villager difference won't be as big for too long, because look how quickly these villagers will pop out from this Palace of Swabia. This really puts a timer on Vortix, and don't forget this is the decider, so this is actually going to be a very key game. This is one that's going to decide who gets to the final. Vortix will be looking to engage this, especially before the knights become elite knights, but there are a lot of prelates there looking to heat up these knights before they engage. If they engage, because I'm sure MarineLord will be looking to get the upgrades for these knights, and looking to get veterancy for the spearmen now, actually. Maybe a bit of a tech switch here. Kind of interesting to see. Yep, it will be barracks going down. A lot of them as well. We'll need some spears to defend this position. Palace of Swabia in particular, and have some outposts. Don't forget cannon emplacements. These guys do crazy amounts of damage, and the knights are going to head in, try and do some damage to the farming economy. The knights engaged for MarineLord doesn't have the numbers, but what it does have are the prelates. The prelates healing up the knights very nicely. 3 knights head on the east side. The Palace of Swabia is garrisoned. The knights will clear this up though. Vortix will lose his knight numbers, but causing a bit of idle time. He's pushing on the front as well. Emergency repairs coming out for MarineLord's outpost. HRE actually very strong at defending in many ways, especially with the outpost there with cannon emplacements coming in. MarineLord does look pretty comfortable here. Let's take a look at the village count. 59 for him, 84. So of course that lead is very extensive for Vortix, especially having access to fish. Concern is that it's going to struggle to push it, heading into the man-at-arms line, perhaps from the barracks. Trouble is, it's stuck in the cartilage. And of course, Vortix will be stuck in the cartilage for quite some time. Look at that. 10? Wait, am I reading that right? There's 10 barracks foundations being placed here. Holy smokes. So MarineLord, full hands on deck in terms of production. Having that market, but does he actually have a market? Because he's got plenty of gold. Yeah, it does indeed. Got plenty of gold coming in. Only 6 villages on gold, but still over 1,100 gold per minute. Courtesy of the 4 relics, really. Now it's going to pressure forward. There's also a lancer there, a knight raiding on the wood line. That's something the English will have to deal with. And a knight does come in there. Now, these are veteran spearmen. They engage with the prelates in behind, and it just feels like MarineLord should be able to win this fight. The rams are there, but emergency repairs come out from the outpost, and you get the feeling it's all coming down to the prelates, because the spears will do a lot of damage and the knights are being healed. And this is a fight that you feel like MarineLord will win, and if he does win this could hold the key to the game. The numbers of knights looking still decent though for Vortix. Don't forget there is a cannon emplacement in this outpost, so a lot of casualties there for Vortix. He has to head back, loses military numbers. 41 for MarineLord, 28 for Vortix. Vortix, the English army, heading back with their tails between their legs. And now this is an issue because the push is coming forward from MarineLord with the prelates moving incredibly fast. These guys actually benefit from forced march as well, by the way. So forced march is an upgrade for increasing the speed of the military, as you can see on those spearmen, which are now elite spearmen. But the forced march actually works for the prelates as well, so they can keep up with the army and the fight. So we hear another relic being picked up. Is that really happening? Or is it the English picking that up? Doesn't appear to be Vortix, because it doesn't seem to have a monastery on the field, and that's pretty crazy. I think it might just be a relocation of that relic, actually. Outpost did go in the end, but will be replaced, as we see now. The production building is going down for Vortix. This is going to be a problem because he needs to deal with the prelates and then the army. Trouble for Vortix is that his production is being wiped out here. as a spearman head towards that wood line. Village count 82 for MarineLord, 94 for Vortix. The difference is narrowing, and the big difference now is Vortix has a lot of villages idled. They're running around, they don't know what to do. Behind this, Vortix has 1,800 gold in the bank, and he's just going to torch down the King's Palace because the prelates, they're going to be healing up the units. And I don't think King's Palace will last for very long. It's going to be going down, only 2,500 health. Really not very much. Villagers coming out to repair, but the villagers will be going down to the army. Oh, this is a big problem for Vortix. In game number 3, the Decider is getting a bit of a raid here, but only with 2 knights with spears. Oh, chasing. Those 2 knights aren't going to get the value they want. King's Palace survives. Still fighting underneath that King's Palace, but he won't mind because of the prelates. The prelates doing so much work, keeping the units alive in the fight for as long as possible. Get the feeling that Vortix will be struggling here. We shall see how he pans out. Let's see. And if anything, MarineLord just going to be able to replace these units, and it's caused so much idle time. And also insufficient wood, that's the problem for Vortix. The King's Palace isn't even at full health here, but he doesn't have enough wood to repair it even further. Let's take with the military count, 38 for Vortix, 36 for MarineLord. MarineLord preparing a second assault with spears. Quite a few longbows though for Vortix. They'll be able to hold the lines against the spears for a while. Trouble is that MarineLord coming in with a second wave soon. Economy is back at work. 82 villagers for Vortix, 92 for MarineLord. That massive raid now means that MarineLord actually has the economy lead, believe it or not. Courtesy of that Palace of Swabia. Slowly but surely, MarineLord getting control of this game. Vortix going for man-at-arms. So is MarineLord. And the production capabilities for MarineLord just so much better. Look at this. So many barracks, 9 of them. Don't forget the relics in play as well, so gold won't be a problem at all. And he's actually got the better eco here, MarineLord now. So we're taking engagement here. Spears head in. He's actually holding on just for now. Don't forget it's Imperial Age units versus Castle Age units. He's waiting for elite upgrades. Once the elite man-at-arms comes in, this is going to be no match. Vortix won't have anything to do with it. Has spears and longbows, but just won't be enough. Not against elite man-at-arms anyway. Look at the wood that MarineLord is floating as well. The economy is so strong for HRE. Units head in. Again, look at the number of archers having to, or longbows trying to take down 1 man-at-arms. Now it is the elite man-at-arms with forced march, and so he's going to take the fight now. Looks like Vortix trying to decap that central sacred site with the longbows. The spear's going to head in as a meat shield. The spears are in play there for MarineLord as well. Taking the engagement now with the prelates in behind. This is just too much here for Vortix. MarineLord going to take a decisive fight here, you feel. Longbows doing a little bit of damage, but as you can see, yeah, it's just this 1 man-at-arms is tanking everything, and the army just not here on point here for Vortix. He needs crossbows or man-at-arms, or both rather. Just struggling on the gold count. Won't be able to maintain production of both. And look at the food income coming in. Look at the income of everything from MarineLord, and it's in Imperial Age already, don't forget. That's the army now going to be pushed back for Vortix. There's no real way to stem the flow. It needs to try something. And MarineLord has enough stone for a keep. Might come down forward with villagers for a keep drop. We shall see. The longbows doing their best to kite things down, picking up mostly spears. Once the spears go down, it'll be man-at-arms behind that. And how does he deal with the man-at-arms? That's the real question. Army being pushed back for Vortix. Now it's completely off of gold. That is the big issue. Being off of gold, he won't have any gold units, won't be able to produce crossbows, which is kind of what he needs here. The longbows still kiting as much as they can, but with the army heading forward, production buildings in a risky, vulnerable position, as man-at-arms might start to torch down those barracks, and that's exactly what's happening here on the back lines. These man-at-arms going to tank a lot of the fire. The man-at-arms behind takes the production buildings out, and there it is. There's the GG. Vortix taps out. MarineLord progresses to the grand final for the September weeklies. And holy moly, what a set. That was a fantastic set. And ladies and gentlemen, I will be casting that grand final, and I have casted the other semi-finals as well. So if you want to see who will be meeting MarineLord in that grand final, it's either going to be Wham or the Muslim. If you want to watch that series, that semi-final set, click the left-hand card screen now. And if you want to see the grand final with MarineLord obviously heading there, click the right-hand card screen now, take you to that grand final. And last word is that I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving by watching the videos, giving the videos thumbs up and whatnot, and also in particular those who have committed and really supported the channel with YouTube channel memberships, with Patreons and Twitch subscriptions. I really appreciate it. It really helps me keep the channel running, and I absolutely love casting games for you guys, so I hope to be doing this for a very long time. In any case, hopefully I shall see you guys on the grand final. Looking forward to casting that set. Take care, and see you next time.